Okay, we're live on Facebook Live. And we're live on Instagram
There you
Live.
go.
Yeah. I'm always happy when those things happen right away, you know?
Yep.
With my engineering background, I feel...
Your engineering background never expected social media.
That's true. And I sort of felt inadequate when I was first faced with the digital world.
Oh.
And over the months, I've managed to regain my composure and also the way I feel about my engineering skills.
One of the great things, many great things about Alan is that he can always figure things out, whatever they are. If something, well, we've been watching, I think I told you, we've been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. And it's another side. Larry David is just another side of Alan Hamill. And I realized this the other night. When Larry David's smoke alarm went off, and it's up on the ceiling, he had to kill it. He took his rake and he killed it, and he knocked it off the wall, and then the whole thing fell to the ground, and he was finally satisfied. And I thought, that's what Alan does. That's how he fixes the smoke alarm.
Yeah. I think that we only have one smoke alarm. Well, we're not in that house anymore. But
No.
In our former house, we only had one former left, and I'm not sure it was even working.
Yeah. Now, you killed all the smoke alarms in the last house.
Yeah, there's something wonderful about it, because what it does, usually wakes you up in the middle of the night. Okay,
Yeah.
it never happens during the day,
Yeah.
ever. 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning, it goes off, and it's this irritating. It's meant to be that way, by the way.
Yeah.
So that you go, holy cow, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And so it goes off in the middle of the night. You get out of bed. You have to find a broom handle somewhere if you're not used to finding brooms. And then you go after it, okay? And you listen for its last words, the last
What are they?
sound. It's this shrieking sound. And then I take my broomstick and I whack it
Or
as
your
hard as I
rake.
can. Yeah. And half of it falls on the floor.
Who says you're not a gardener?
and it stops. And we have peace.
But you really can fix everything that goes wrong in a house. I'm really surprised. We're having watermelon juice with lemon, and it is so delicious. It's our new favorite drink.
I don't know about yours, okay? But I have watermelon juice, which I love.
You do.
And also, I have a little tequila in here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're still celebrating the weekend,
Yeah.
New Year's. Okay, we had a wonderful New Year's, didn't we? Mm-hmm. We're blessed, really.
That was so nice.
Yeah.
We went to our favorite restaurant. You know, when you live in a small town like down here, we've been going to the same restaurant for 45 years. And a dear friend of ours hosted a elegant New Year's Eve dinner. It was supposed to be over at 9, but it wasn't. We left.
Yeah, what, 9:30?
Well, all I know is we were on the road coming home, which is a half-hour drive from where we live right now to where that restaurant is.
No traffic.
None.
No traffic.
I swear, if there were 10 cars for the whole drive, that I'm not exaggerating.
And I'm sure that after midnight,
Yep.
the streets are loaded.
Yep. So we had a wonderful night. He didn't drink at all.
You know, we like New Year's Eve to end at 9 o'clock, okay, when the ball comes down in Times Square.
Yeah.
I know it's old fart time, but you know what? So what? It's great. I don't like staying up till midnight to see something on TV that I can see at 9.
Well, there
Right?
you go. Good thinking.
Yeah. And actually, when I see it at 9, it's actually live. When you get it at 12, in the Pacific region, it's pre-recorded.
Have I hosted New Year's Eve shows in New York? Did I ever host?
You've been on a couple. I don't.
Did I host?
Yeah, you did. You did in 1978.
Really? What, the Dick Clark one?
Yeah, or you were with Dick Clark and the guy from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, right. Dick Clark was Alan's business partner for many, many years, and he
And
was
one of my dearest friends.
such a nice guy.
Yeah.
He was so nice. Anyway,
Yeah.
today, I love doing this kind of show because I'm going to talk about supplements. And I'm turned on by supplements. They make such a difference. It's not expensive urine. It's incredible. And because I broke those bones a few years ago, I really take my bones seriously. So I thought today we'd start with bone care.
Oh, I have something to say about that.
What do you want to say?
Oh, give me a moment here.
You're going to talk about your boner?
Excuse me?
Uh-huh.
Suzanne,
Yeah?
really? You want to take that one back?
I'm taking it back.
Okay. So,
I'm surprised
today,
I beat you.
you know, we always like to discount things on this show, okay? Because we don't have to share. We used to have to share with those TV shopping networks, and they take half your money
Yeah.
just to walk through the door.
Yeah.
Sometimes more.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's why we can give you these discounts, because we're not on TV shopping networks anymore, and we can share the discounts, the things that we would normally have to give them with you. Okay, so today we have a free gift for you of one of our supplements called Restore Life Bone Care. It's a $49.99 retail value, and so you get it free with any purchase of $49.99 or more on SuzanneSomers.com. Okay?
Well, we all need calcium.
And for those of you who didn't hear what I said, I'll just put this up for a moment so you can take a look at it. Okay? Okay.
This bone care has so much in it. It has calcium, which you need for healthy bones. It has magnesium, it has zinc, it has vitamin, all the B vitamins. It has vitamin D3, very important for your bones. And I like to take vitamin K along with bone care. Vitamin K, they say, is good for your heart. So you say, well, what does that have to do with bones? Well, think of vitamin K as a traffic cop. And, you know, calcium wants to get into the soft tissues, the arteries. And that's not a good thing. And so vitamin K is like a traffic cop that comes in and goes, whoa, 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 come over here. And shunts the calcium out of the soft arteries and takes care of your heart while it's taking care of your bones. So that's kind of a nice thing. I just highly recommend taking these two. Okay, now multivitamin. Everybody needs a multivitamin, and we go to the health food store and we just sort of stare. It has vitamins A, C, D3, E, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, folate, vitamin B12, biotin, that's for your hair, skin, and nails, I can never say this word, pantothenic acid, iodine as potassium, magnesium, zinc, selenium, manganese, chromium, molybdenum. I mean, it's got everything in there. I wouldn't say if you're only going to take one thing, take that. But if you're only going to take one thing, take that. But if you can take that and you can take the Bone Renew and get all that calcium and all the B vitamins and the D3. You know, D3 is so important for our well-being. And when we were hunters and gatherers way back when, and we would walk around naked, we would take in all the D3 from the sun. But now people don't walk around naked during the day, do they? I don't see anybody here walking around naked.
I do.
You do? You do?
In my house.
And
I did it for one day every summer in Saint-Tropez.
you did. You were quite popular.
Well, that's because it was a gay beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was more popular on that beach than you were.
Not necessarily. They all liked Chrissy.
Well, the only one who called you Chrissy was a French guy, okay? And his partner was American, who's our dear friend, Carl. And he's the one who called you Chrissy because I urged you to take your top off because all the other women on the beach had their tops off, so they didn't have the little line that your top makes on your back, okay? So I said, okay, I'm taking my top off, and the moment you took it off, these two guys, one French, one American, came along and said, "Hi, Chrissy, how's Jack and Janet?" And that became the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, we've been friends with them ever since.
Yeah.
Okay, now, curcumin. I once interviewed a Dr. Khalid Mahmood from Pakistan, and he said, we have much less cancer in our country, which is a third world country. He referred to it as that, excuse me. And he said, I said, why is that? And he said, well, we breastfeed, and we breastfeed for a long time, till the child is at least 4. He said, and then it's the spices we eat. He said, we, curries and coriander and cumin and all those wonderful spices. He said, they're incredible antioxidants. And he said, but the most potent of all is turmeric, which is curcumin. And so we have anti-inflammatory, which is curcumin, and plus all the other things that are in there. And that's, God, I don't know which one to tell you to stock up on first. Bone care, vitamin K, the traffic cop, curcumin, the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, or the multi, which gives you everything. That's just for starters.
I think most joint pain, maybe not most, but a lot of joint pain is caused by inflammation.
I do too. I do too. And as we age causes inflammation, and there's a test you can take, a blood test called highly sensitive CRT, C reactive protein, P, and it should be around from 0 to 5.5. And there was a neighbor I had in Malibu, and she coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed. And so I said, it's none of my business, but I would really highly recommend you take a blood test, highly sensitive CRT. Now remember, good to normal is 0 to 0.5. Hers came back at 13. That means she was all inflamed. And do you know she's been going to the hospital on a regular basis, so regularly that she keeps a suitcase packed by her front door, all because of inflammation. Inflammation is more of a silent killer than anything else that we can carry around. So these are things that are very, very good for that. Now, here's more vitamin D3. I wonder how many I use. 5,000, right. 5,000 IUs. That's an incredible amount of vitamin D3. And you don't have to walk around naked. So that's a good thing. Then there's fish oil, omega-3. You want to take fish oil for your heart. It's like food for your heart. We make ours from small fish in Alaska in the coldest water. And the reason is that the larger the fish, like shark and tuna and etc., swordfish, the more mercury they've taken in because they don't swim so deep and
they've been around for years longer than the little guys.
And the little guys. Caroline, what's the name of the little fish?
Quail.
Alaskan pollock.
Pollock. Were you just lying, Alan?
No, I was actually trying to remember the correct. But come to think of it, we lost a great director named Sidney Pollock.
Yeah.
What, last year?
I don't know, he called me. I don't know him, but he called me one day out of the blue. I had just written my book, Knockout. And I got used to the fact that when I wrote my book, Knockout, which is about cancer, that I was starting to get calls from people. And you realize they either had cancer or they knew someone who had cancer and they wanted direction as to, I don't give advice, but I can, because of the information in my books, I can say, there's a Dr. So-and-so who's working with such and such, and that's all allowed. But I could tell when I talked to him there was a panic in his voice.
Well, he said it was a friend of his.
Yeah. And then he died shortly after that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Anyway, so before you go on, for those
Okay.
who just joined us recently, we have a free gift for you today. It's the supplement Restore Life Bone Care. And the retail value is normally $50. If you purchase anything for $50 or more, we give you the Restore Life Bone Care absolutely free on Suzanne Somers.
And how much is it normally?
Normally $50, $49.99.
It's kind of incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
So basically, you're getting it at half price.
you know, I'm not a doctor, but
Actually, you are.
Actually, I am. Actually, I take Bone Care, Vitamin K, and I take Joint Renew. Because I don't know if any of you experienced your joints start getting stiff. It could be it's because it's so cold here. It's in the desert. It's freezing cold. But anyway, I feel those three things are really protective for me. What are you doing now?
Take a look at how cold it is. Right now, it's 60 degrees.
Oh, that's not cold.
Okay. And Wednesday, it's going down, or what is it, Friday, down to 40 something? This is the desert. Oh, here you go. Look at this.
Okay. Here, this is a good one. Ubiquinol CoQ10. What does ubiquinol mean? It means it absorbs faster. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
You want to get this into your cells immediately. I'll tell you about this in a second. One of the things that I enjoyed, and I enjoy on every book, is I start writing a book and I'm not quite sure what my message is. When I wrote A New Way to Age, I started learning about cell health. And then I thought, of course, that's so important. We are anywhere from like millions of cells to, I don't know. I read different stats all the time, so I don't know which one is true. But you and me are made up of cells. So doesn't it make sense that keeping those cells healthy is paramount to your health? And you don't want cells that aren't working properly, and they stop working properly, which I'll explain to the next one. But inside each cell, say 75 million cells, inside each cell in you, in the middle is the mitochondria. That's your energy, right? That's what gives you the get up and go to run up the hill. But when you lose CoQ10 in your cells, which you have and will and continue to do if you don't replace it, then that energy center in the middle has no ripcord. So imagine if you've ever had an outboard motor boat, and to get that outboard motor to go, you have to, rev it up and pull the ripcord, and then the motor goes. Bah, 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 bah,
That's
bah.
old style.
Well, I know, but I'm trying to explain CoQ10.
Okay.
So when you take CoQ10, and I highly recommend you take this every day, this is so important. You want to keep your energy. When you see old people walking across the street and they're shuffling and they've got bad posture, they don't have any energy. Their cells, the mitochondria, is not getting that ripcord. And so CoQ10, especially ubiquinol, which means it will absorb faster, get into your bloodstream faster, is going to maintain your energy. And if you take it every day, you'll maintain your energy.
And by the way, if you're looking for a great energy doctor, our energy doctor, and you live in Los Angeles or willing to come here, his name is Dr. Michael Gallitzer.
Oh yeah, my doctor.
And we've been going to him for 25 or 30 years.
Well, I think they know him. He's been in so many of my books. You've read about Michael Gallitzer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, now I'm talking about cells, right? So, say we got, I don't know, I'm getting the number wrong on how many millions of cells we have. But every cell has a little tail on it called a telomere. And our cells replicate approximately 50 times, and then they die and they collapse. So when the telomere is stimulated, it grows, and then the cell collapses, then the tail gets shorter, and then the tail gets shorter, until finally there's no telomere left on the cell at all.
Not even a piece of tail? Just checking.
So now what happens to this cell that has no tail wagging it? It collapses, right? It collapses. And now you've got debris on the structure of your cellular self. But aha, in the last 3 years, they have come out with something so new, so great. Senolytics. Senolytics is, for lack of a better description, like a broom, and you can sweep up the old dead cells that are no longer useful and get them out of you, and it'll flush out into your bloodstream. Do you know how that affects your aging? It's anti-aging, and it's really quite remarkable.
It would be the same
And
thing.
this is a new formula. You haven't even tried the first formula, but the new formula has physitin, biophysitin in it.
It'd be the same thing if you never took out the garbage in your house.
It would be. That's
Okay.
a good description.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is like
You look
the
like-
garbage disposal.
You look like a sexy librarian.
A professional secretary is not a plaything. So I sang that on the Rich Little special. Biophysitin helps boost longevity at the cellular level. It's a powerful senolytic compound. It actively targets senescent cells, you know, the ones that are dying, they're no longer functioning optimally. Biophysitin helps encourage the body's natural pathways for clearing senescent cells, which helps allow healthy cells to flourish. I take these once a week and I give them to Alan once a week. Once a week, I've chosen Friday. We take 3 of these to like clean out the kitchen. What are you doing?
Because
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay. So this is for cleaning your house. You want to keep your cells healthy. You've got the biophysitin in here, and you've got once a week you take 3 pills.
Okay. Leola Graham Grove said that she tried to buy your special box of goodies yesterday. That's Suzanne Selects that comes out every
Yeah.
month. But where do you go to buy it? And I have that answer.
Where?
SuzanneSomers.com.
Oh,
Yeah, you can sign up.
SuzanneSomers.com.
And Suzanne Selects happens once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always worth a minimum of $120.
What was her name again?
Pardon me?
What was her name?
Her name is Leola Graham.
Leola.
Grove.
Yes, you want to get yesterday's box. It was really
Well, I have to explain to
Special.
her what it is.
Okay.
Okay. It's $50 a month, $49.99, and we never send anything that is worth less than 120, and often it's much more than that. Why do we do it? Because we want you to try our products. They're pure, organic. They're the finest ingredients you can find anywhere in the world. we get them, and we provide it for you in everything that we're doing, okay? So I urge you to take a look at these supplements that you're looking at today and think carefully about what is your life worth, really.
Okay.
You know, when I talk to my friends, my friends who are men, who are my age, and they're complaining about certain things happening, and I suggest testosterone, and they always say, "No, I don't have any problem down there." That's what testosterone. It's the muscle and bone building hormone. Your heart.
I know.
Your
I know.
heart.
You know, the
okay?
heart has more testosterone receptor sites than any other muscle in your body. That's your pumping power. So when men age and they lose testosterone, they lose their energy too. Also, not only from cellular poor health, but also they've got no pumping power in their heart because they're out of testosterone. You give them back testosterone and they come to life again. It's, you know, you can notice men who need hormone replacement because when they're right, their shoulders are even, their posture is great, they don't have belly fat, they don't have saggy skin. And I'm talking about my husband right now, who it's not about being young, it's about being in balance. And that was the whole message of my most recent book, A New Way to Age. Aging is about worn out parts, and what you have to do, the new way to age, is to do the lab work that I suggest in the book through the doctor. There's a bunch of doctors there that you can choose from. Michael Gallitzer is one of them. And then they look at your levels. You're low in hormones. Okay, let's put the hormones back in. You're home in nutrients. Okay, let's put the right nutrients in. That's what I'm talking about here with all these supplements. And minerals. We've got to put the minerals back in. Body can't operate without hormones, nutrients, or minerals. And isn't it nice to know that it's a simple equation that you can put it all back together again? I'm so grateful that I've learned all of this stuff that I can pass on to you. Now, the one thing I haven't talked about, and this is our lipoic acid. Where is it? It's right here. Oh, here it is. Our lipoic acid.
You turn the label around.
Oh, I did?
What kind of salesperson are you?
Is this it?
A little more. There you go.
Oh, see, from my perspective, it feels like I'm just showing it to the people outside, and there are none. Okay, our lipoic acid. It preserves youthful cellular energy. Cellular. Everybody's talking about cell health. And that's what I was starting to say to you about my books. I don't know when I start out what the message is going to be, but this last book that I wrote, every page is talking about cell health, and that wasn't my idea. It's because it was coming from this doctor and that doctor and this doctor, because they all started realizing if your cells aren't healthy, you're not healthy. So our lipoic acid helps protect against oxidative stress. And it's a true anti-aging antioxidant for the reason I just told you. Protects from sugar glycation, and it's a unique and powerful antioxidant protecting all compartments of a cell, including mitochondria, to promote anti-aging and longevity. So if you took these supplements, you would feel a difference. You would. Like when I'm looking at it, I haven't been taking CoQ10 for a while, and I'm thinking, what a dope! I'm taking all of these. Here I go again. You know, what happens, and I'm sure you do too, I get like up to here with supplements, and I stop taking this one, I stop taking that one. And when I start taking whatever I've gotten tired of, I feel better. I just feel better. I feel young and energetic.
You
And
look young and energetic.
Well, thank you. And I think it's because of the way I take care of myself, the way I feed myself, and the supplements that I take.
And you have love in your life.
Do I ever? I do.
By the way, Ramona Camper said you are going to love Suzanne's supplements. All her products are simply fabulous. I've been getting them going on 3 years.
Thank you, Ramona.
Thank you.
I love your name too,
Yeah,
Ramona.
isn't there a song
No,
about Ramona?
no. You can make one up.
Ramona, something about a song in bathrobes.
So what do you have to say, Caroline?
About Ramona, I think she's fabulous. You've done such a good job on everything. I don't need to help you. I'm just going to remind everyone that the bone care is our free gift today. It's a $49.99 value, and you get that free with any purchase of $49.99 or more. And a lot of people are asking questions about when you take the supplements and can you take them together. And on every bottle, you guys, there are directions, and it will explain if you need to take it with food or without food, or if you need to take it in the morning or the evening. If it doesn't specify, take it whenever
Yeah.
you can get it down.
I like to always have some food in me. Do you, Caroline?
I mean, I unless something is better on an empty stomach, a few of them,
Yeah.
a few of them they say on an empty stomach. And there are certain ones that are maybe better for the morning, like CoQ10 I take in the morning. I don't take that one at night. Sometimes I take a lot of them just before I go to bed, because if there's any kind of stomach issue, I just sleep through it. Or I take it in the morning with my smoothie, with my gut renew smoothie.
I find that's when I take most of my supplements, is in the morning with the gut renew smoothie. And lately I've been taking to having a beautiful avocado in the morning. Avocados down here right now are, from Costco, as Al knows.
My favorite store. I love Costco.
He loves Costco. And
I'm always.
You're getting called out on Instagram for talking about the weather in Costco. They're saying you sound like an old guy. You're not an old guy.
I'm usually,
No.
I'm usually, I go in there a half hour before everybody with this card that I've got.
Yeah.
I'm usually the youngest guy in there.
Well, you can get, I know it doesn't sound, like whoopee onions, but he brought home a bag of onions last week
Oh, yeah.
that each one was like this, and
Perfect.
it had just been picked.
Perfect.
And I took to putting them in the oven with, if I'm baking a yam or baking something, and then I put a couple of these beautiful onions in there, and I rub them all with olive oil and some sea salt, and then leave them in for an hour and a half, and oh my God. The house smells so good, and the onion tastes so good. And the other night we had kind of a decadent dinner, but it was really great. We had the sirloin steak, and we shared it with a roasted onion.
No, that wasn't sirloin.
What was it?
It was a fillet.
Oh, a fillet,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the best quality.
Yeah.
And I marinated it in olive oil and garlic and rosemary, and then the onions on the baking sheet. And when I served the onions, I opened it up, and the sirloin was there, and that was a dinner. That was so good.
So Nicole Hart said, I feel better when I eat nuts. Well, Nicole, you're talking to a nut-aholic,
Yeah.
okay?
He
And a
is.
fruit-aholic,
Yeah,
okay?
You
I
are.
eat more nuts than the entire neighborhood.
you do.
And they're
I think
incredible.
one of the many reasons you are so healthy is that from the day I met you, you eat fruits and nuts. He
Yep.
eats fruit like an alcoholic drinks.
Yep.
He actually gained weight from fruit,
Yep. In the summer.
not from cake or cookies or anything, from fruit. And there are some times in the summer he'll eat as many as 50 pieces of fruit a day. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's
and
a lot.
then when he's not eating that, he's got handfuls of nuts. And I look at him and I think, that's why you're so healthy. That's
Well,
incredible.
it
It's not a
agrees with
habit.
me.
It's
Yeah,
what
it-
you crave.
It agrees with me.
Yeah, it's what you crave.
You know.
Anyway,
Anyway, I
it's kind
think
of time to
we're rounding the horn.
let Caroline take over, who's doing such a great job, and I so appreciate it. And between the two of us, you get everything you need.
Well, terrific. I'm going to do a quick show on Facebook, and then I'm going to come over to Instagram, guys, because I only have one phone today.
Oh.
My other phone people are not home. So
Okay.
I'll join Facebook, and if you guys have any questions about Suzanne supplements or about the deal today, I will do my best to answer them.
Okay, so remember with your bone care, you take the vitamin K, which is the little traffic cop, and the senolytics is the broom for the debris in your cellular structure. Vitamin D is what you didn't get today from the sun because you weren't naked in the sun. And
Restore Life Bone Care.
omega-3 fish oil with the best kind of fish, and R-lipoic acid. So there's so many great supplements here today. They were really fun to talk about. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you, today is Wednesday. I'll see you Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.